I grew up in Belgium, just like FL Studio, because that's made by a Belgium company called ImageLine. So that's pretty cool. Belgische trots. And yeah, I want to show you how to. I've got to grab my phone because I got to film this. So if you have a hardware looper, how did you connect it with FL Studio? I mean, there's various ways of doing it, but I figured one way that is kind of working for me. So I will put on my phone, and then I can make a video here as well, because I've run out of cameras. Oh, come on. Just gotta mute everything here. Okay, and I could just cut this out. Come on. Camera. Swap. There we go. So now I can record here. So let's start with the basis. The basis of what I'm doing is just and I just make this detached so you guys can see it. The basis of what I'm doing is just this. This is just a 4x4 kick, 2 bars, kick, 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 kick. And when I press this button here, this is just it's linked to just a mute on Stylus RMX. It's just like link a controller, and there's a mute function on Stylus RMX, so I can mute it while it always keeps on running. Okay, so once I have my kick, as you can see, we're at 137 BMP right here, as you can see at the top. So then let's start recording now here. So then we go to our hardware looper. In this case, okay. So then we go to our hardware looper. In this case, it's a, where's the brightness, contrast? Yeah, turn the contrast on. In this case, we're using RC-505, but it's the same principle with any other hardware looper. So we click tap tempo, and then we make sure it says 137 here, and then we put the rhythm level on, and we stop the rhythm here, and then it's just a moment of finding the right time. So now we're kind of in sync, and so if you have latency on your system, which I have, which has nothing to do with FL Studio, that's just it's a combination of my sound card and using a laptop from 2013, so I have some latency. I would have that enabled on live as well. So once that is done, we can just kill the volume here, and we can even kill the volume right here, and now at least the loop is in sync with what I'm doing here. So my arpeggios and everything is in sync. So if we just play around with one of the synths here, this is Serum, or this is two versions of Serum linked together. So I have an arpeggiator. That should go. Hold on. No, I guess it's not activated, but oh, you have to be. Yeah, it is. I have a default setting here that I always want to go to, which is these 4 to that side and these 4 to that other side. So now at any time, because everything is running, at any time I can just go. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Hold on. So at any time I can press this button and this button at the same time. Now it's not, so this is because of the latency problem. So I have to like press it like a little early. One, two, three, four, and so now we looped it, and we looped it in sync. If I put the beat on right now, the beat from FL Studio should play in sync with whatever the arpeggiator did. So if I put my beat on now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and oh yeah, it also took the 1, 2, 3, 4 because my mic is also doing that. But so now you hear the beat here, and I have that cutoff linked. sync. Anytime we start it, it will be in sync with the beat. So what we also can do is we can go and edit the track here. So let me just record that as well. Hold on. I set my video up with a 10-second timer. That's retarded. Oh well. I'll cut everything out. Okay, so now I'm recording on the video here. So one of the functions here, if you go under edit, is you can go to one-shot mode, which is pretty cool. Don't use it too much, but it's pretty powerful. So if we put one shot on, then we can just repeatedly press it. So now I can go. And that's pretty handy to have. And of course, we can play it in reverse as well. And then we can use a stopper. Okay, so that kind of concludes the looper part. But now you still need to know how to get the sound there, right? So let me make a new video again here. Let's shut the kick down. So, gotta wait 10 seconds again. I know where to change that. I'm just too lazy to do it. Hi, Richard. Yeah, I'm doing very good. Very good. Do you have time for me today, or? Okay, I am kind of busy at the moment. When works for you? Okay, how much time do like if I do I have to be there at 1 or before 2, or like what's your cutoff? When do you leave your office? Okay, I'll try to make it in between 1 and 2, and otherwise it's gonna be tomorrow. Okay, see you. You made it to the stream, Richard. He has a travel agency. You should go book fly to Europe with him once COVID is open. Once COVID is over. Okay. I just freaking change that timer. Change that timer. HDR, what? Come on. Timers. No. Timer off. There we go. Okay. Okay. Alright, so as you can see here, this is my cable to get my signal out from the looper into my sound card. This is just mono, so left and right makes one stereo channel. And then this is stereo. This is coming from here. I have outputs to my speakers, and I have outputs to my headphone, and then I have a second output, so I can have what I send to my headphones while I'm streaming can be separate from what I send to the looper, and I can control it in FL Studio. So now that I've showed you the audio routing, we can go here in FL Studio. And so channel 3 here is called Send to RC-505, which means that any of my other channels, if I take a channel like 13, you see how it's sent to the master. So I undo this, and then I send it to number 3, and then it goes into my looper, and it comes out of number 4. So under 3, you see that I'm not sending it to the master or anything, so the signal goes to one of the outs on my sound card. So that out is what comes out of this cable and goes into this cable, so then my looper receives the signal that flows to number 3 here. And then the looper does its manipulation of the audio signal with almost zero latency, which is great. Actually, I haven't really tested it. It might have like a millisecond or latency, but anything under it adds up, but any device you can get that does under a couple of milliseconds is fine. I mean, you'd have to chain up 10 before it really becomes a problem. 10 times 3 would be 30 milliseconds. That's still workable for most type of music. So and then it flows back, and then it comes in here because I'm not sending nothing in FL Studio is sending to 4, but here's my in, so it's coming in, and then I have a limiter with 2 sidechains on it. So one of these is a sidechain from my kick, and the other is a sidechain from the rest of my drums. So whatever is on my kick and my drums will be pushed into the signal a little bit, so you get that ducking going on. So I'm going to show you an example. So and then I'm using Cthulhu, and the way I've set it up, I'm holding down my pedal now, like my sustain pedal, to go from arpeggiator directly into a chord. And then I can just control, I can't see that right now, but I'm controlling the sustain on Serum right now. And the other sustain, I have 2 sustains here. I have my sine and my square. So that gives me a lot of control. So I have everything linked. So I can program synthesizers on the fly because I have everything linked. Everything in Serum that I want to use is linked to my controllers here. And then if I make this loud enough, as you can see, this is now going through my looper, so I can also use the input effects on it. So it's really cool because this is like, oh man, this is in the way. But there's a big button here that is very handy for when I'm doing something with one hand. And of course, anything I do here, I can lock it into place as soon as I press my sustain pedal and hold on. Now I let go and my signal is gone. But if I take, hold on, what do I do now? Why did that kill it? Oh yeah, that's because, yeah, I have to. Yeah, so we're still in arpeggiator mode. And let me just kill the chords. Okay, so now, sometimes I get my arpeggiator stuck. That's probably because, okay, yeah, alright. So I add a little bit of delay. So now I'm holding down a chord. If I want to, I also have a mode where I think if I put this on, now my sustain pedal just keeps the arpeggiator in place, which is great. So, but because everything is synced, so now there's a little bit of side shading going on. And if we want to play with that, we just have to change the dynamics of the limiter here. So now, this means that I can just kind of freeze audio, and I have my hands available, right? So, this is why I want a MIDI looper. That would be great. So I have an audio looper and then a MIDI looper on the other side, and then I need an automation looper somewhere. So if I make a rhythm here, if I make a groove here, I want to be able to press a button on my automation looper, so I loop my automation. That would be amazing. Imagine being able to loop my automation and then speed up and slow down my automation. That would be amazing. So my hands are free now. I can't switch to a different instrument, but if I use like a layering system, I can do whatever. And of course, I have my second keyboard here. So once I have my signal, oh yeah, so now I let go of it. So and that's the whole reason why you want to have hardware loopers, because, so let's say this is our loop, but I want to move on and I don't want to use my hands anymore. So if we're synced in, and also I can control one of these. Let me just wipe everything out. I also have a pedal hooked up to this. So I press my pedal, you see how this one goes red? So then if I have my 2 hands full, at least I can, otherwise I'd miss my timing on the button, right? So so now we're in sync. We're in sync. pressed the. Let's try it again. 1, 3, 4. Press. I pressed a little too early there. So yeah, you're gonna have to work on your timings because you'll get that wrong. Like the timings are, you gotta get really good at the timings, or if you get it wrong, everything's out of sync. So it's not easy, but once you pick it up. Oh yeah, this one's still in reverse. And I also set this one to one shot. So okay, the one shot is out of there. Let's do this one more time. I'm not used to making tutorial videos. So 1, 2, and that's the other thing. Oh come on. So now we got out of sync. So that happens a lot. So that is usually not too much work. You just gotta. And there is auto sync. You can use that over USB. There's some form of auto sync that you can have going, but it's never worked really well for me. Plus my system picks up noise from the USB cable. If I connect this with a USB cable to my laptop, and I also have my sound card connected over USB, then noise from this machine gets into my sound card. It's really annoying, and I have not figured out a solution yet. So I need to get a better sound card, because it's from like 2008, but you know, I'm not the richest dude on the planet. I'm starting to make a lot of money with just Twitch streaming now because of Bitcoin Cash. That stuff is like the shizzle. So I'll get a better sound card, and then I'll figure, like, there's a million ways of syncing this up, but I just found a way that works for me. But I might find a better way in the future, and I'll let you guys know. Okay, so let's try this here. Okay, so I want to loop this. See again. I need that, if you don't, because of the latency, I gotta kind of like press this before I'm supposed to press it. So now I think I've pressed it a little early, so now this should actually work. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's still going into rotation. And see, now we're in sync. So let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that's in sync. Now I can take the next note. I didn't do it there, but I won't. Let's try again. So now I can play with the faders. So we can do a whole chord like that, and we can also like just one-shot it. So if we just if we switch off the arpeggiator, and then we go to like we go to one shot, and we put that on, and then one shot on here and one shot on. Now we have 3 one shots. So we do. Now we take our next chord. This one still needs to go to one shot, and I have to get it better in sync. You see how cool this becomes? And then of course you have the output effects. Once you have the audio in here, you can so that's flanger, but over delay. But it's cool. The beat repeat is cool. shit, but you guys get the idea. So, with that being said, I think there was one guy in the comments that wanted to know what chords I was using in the video that I shared. So, the slicer. Let's see. I pressed stop here. So that's always a bad idea, pressing stop there. Now I have to sync again. So I always need this audio signal to be faster than that audio signal, and then these buttons are in sync. If I miss that up by like as much as 10-20 milliseconds, then it doesn't work. Let's see. That's not linked yet. Oh yeah, so the chords are, so yeah, just look at my hands here, okay? So there's my hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have the notes, I don't know chords, so you can figure it out. So it's that A, B, C, D, E, F. So it starts with F sharp. I think this is like a normal chord, and so this would be F sharp minor, probably F sharp minor or something like that. I don't know. And then because we have the effects here, you can't see the button because my mic is in the way. But so you have the effects here. So now you have no slicing going on, but now you have slicing going on. Because we're in sync, it works great, right? So I can play. So just use that as the basis of my loop. We'll delete all of these, and now we'll use the. So, and then of course put it on, that one shot, take that out of the equation, and. At the right time, but it didn't start. So when you are completely synced up, you gotta leave everything alone. If you do, I'm getting better at it. So once in a while, I don't have to I can stream for 2 hours before I have to resync, as long as I don't get any. As soon as I have buffer underruns or stuttering there or run out of CPU power, I'm gonna have to resync because my computer will slow down, but this machine will stay at the same speed. So then there's a mismatch. See, so it is supposed to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and it doesn't start there because I'm too much synced. I need, maybe now we're there. You see? So now it's fast enough there. Yeah, I gotta anticipate that my loop is going to end, and I need to be there like just a fraction of a second before it's supposed to end. Because this only quantizes. So if I miss my quantize threshold, then I'm out of sync either too late or too early, and then it doesn't work. At least it doesn't groove. See, even the drums here are kind of in sync still. Now I can go and take another instrument, next loop, and I can also layer it on top, which I usually do. Just 5 tracks is all I need. And while if I have a groove going on 3, I can come up with something in my head on the next 2 ones, and then I can just make the transition, because I think being a DJ is super boring. You just press play on other people's music. I think it's way more interesting for your audience if you just make everything on the fly, because that's what we do anyways, right? With FL Studio, we have fun all day, sometimes just making sounds, but why not combine that and just like enjoy yourself while you're entertaining a crowd? Like, I'm not even doing this for the money per se. I'm doing this because I want to do this, because I want to get better at it. And why not combine those two things? So I'm just practicing here for when I go play back on the streets to get really good at this, and I make some little bit of money on the side. I mean, what's not to love about that? So anyway, let's shut this down here. I don't know how long we've been streaming, so this is a 25-minute video. Just kill my drums here. That's something I still have to work on. need to see. Do you see how this like flashes red one time? I gotta have a script that when I flash it, it stays red, so I know which pad I used. So I can always tell. So if there's 6 flashing red, then those 6 are playing, and I can just all hit all 6 to stop them. And of course, you could use these as drum pads and stuff, but I'm not good with that. And I have a live drummer anyway, so I don't have to worry about drums. I can play with a live drummer. That's like way better. Anyway, Caniac out. I hope that this answered all your questions, and I hope people will start doing the same thing because it's awesome. And you know, that Loop Daddy guy is doing it. I already wanted to do it. I just didn't have the equipment. But he was the one. I watched his videos and I was like, oh, what's he using there? And then I asked him what he was using, but of course a million people had already asked him that, so he just forwarded me to a video where he explains what he's using. He's not using FL Studio, but I've been using FL Studio since 1999, bought it in 2004, and price-wise. So this controller here, new, you can find it for about $400 US. You're probably able to find it for $250 used. This one is expensive as well, like $500 US, I think. That's been out for a while. You might be able to find it $350, $400 used. This thing you don't really need. I only got it because my controller only does a sustain pedal, but I need an expression pedal, so my expression pedal is hooked up to this thing. I don't use it for much, but it gave me all these other buttons. So now I do my drums with this. So I have my 8 drums here, and then here are the filters for the 8 drums. So once my drums are playing, all the effects I can just filter. Then I can mix the drums on the spot with the filtering here. And it's kind of handy always to have like a little second keyboard that you have hooked up to something. So in the middle of a set and you're feeling like you're very creative at the moment, but you don't want to mess around with setting something up, then you always have like a little something that cuts through the lead, so you can just grab that and you can just start jamming around. Like I can just grab this in the middle of my set. I could just even like stand up and just like, you know, walk around with it and make it all look funky. And then you have these thingies on the side here, and I haven't done that yet, but I just grab it and then it looks really cool because it's not about how you sound at all. First you gotta look cool while doing something, and then if you sound good enough, that's my brother calling me. Nope. I guess he's probably watching my stream right now. Decline. Yeah. What else is there to say? Well, there's nothing to say. I tipped everybody a bunch of Bitcoin Cash. I got that from other people, so I'm just forwarding whatever people send me. So it's not, that's not my money. Just people gave it to me because they like the music I'm making, and I'm keep a little bit for myself, and the rest I just give to other people, because then if they all start doing the same thing, well, I'll make less money doing this, but that's okay, because then the world will slowly change, and artists just have a cool Bitcoin Cash tool. So if I need to support an artist in Taiwan or in Africa or whatever, and he needs money for an instrument, and I have the money, and then it goes to him, and I just get better music that way, and more happy life. That's how I see it, because I didn't need to have enough money, so I can just do what I like to do, and the rest I don't really need to keep for myself. Just give that to other people so they can go do their thing, and then we have better music. Right? That's the way it works, right? We just want better. At least I like good music, so I like people to make the kind of music that I like. Then I don't have to make it myself, because I just want to listen to it. I enjoy making it. I enjoy listening to it. So the more people make the music that I like to listen to, the better for me, right? Okay, I'm getting a little hyper. I'm going to stop the stream now, and then I'm going to edit, because I'm only streaming because I want to make a video and then go into FL Studio and post it there. So now you guys have all the information you need. And if you have any more questions, I suggest that you just join my Twitch stream when I'm streaming and ask it in the chat, and I will interrupt my stream and I will answer your questions, as long as it's within the flow of the stream. I'm not going to interrupt the flow of the stream constantly, but there'll always be dead moments when there's a possibility for me to show people what I'm doing. And I've learned this from other people, and just paying it forward. Okay, Keniak out. I wish you guys all have a nice day, and I hope for everybody that COVID's going to be done soon and we can have more fun being musicians.